Wasaga Beach embraced 41 hours of blues music. Hello everyone and welcome to Beach Corner on Wasaga Beach TV. I'm Dianna Chycki. The 8th annual Stonebridge Wasaga Beach Blues Festival was held from September the 14th to the 15th with an array of talented artists such as Don Tyler Watson, Crowbar, Jack DeKaiser, Harrison Kennedy, Robin Banks, to name a few. The sun was shining and the crowd were up and dancing throughout the weekend. Kickstarting the event was the Boogie Bash, held Friday night at the Wasaga Beach Recplex with headliner Johnny Mac's band. He is known as one of the most action-packed and satisfying entertainers around and doesn't always follow conventional blues lines. I caught up with soulful singer-songwriter Johnny Mac's prior to his performance that night. We are at the Wasaga Beach Recplex where the Boogie Bash is underway, and joining me is soulful singer-songwriter Johnny Mac's from the Johnny Mac's band, who will be performing very shortly. So nice to have you on the show.
It's nice to be here. This is beautiful.
So you have built up a solid reputation who gives 110% and one of the most action-packed and satisfying entertainers around. So what makes the Johnny Mac's band different from other bands?
Well, what makes us different and slightly different is the fun we have on stage. So we have, I jump around like a singing monkey, I call myself. And the guys are great players. They're all having a great time. The songs are fun to play. And everybody enjoys themselves. We're not the type of band that, I'm not saying that they're brooding, but there's bands that stay there and do their business, and we're not that. We like to have fun, and the more fun we have, the more fun people have, the more fun people have, the more fun we have, and that's all it is.
And your music doesn't always follow conventional blue lines.
No.
So can you elaborate?
So when people think of blues, they think of Chicago blues. They think of Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf and Little Walter and harmonica and guitar. That's what they think of. We are more B.B. King, Albert King, Freddie King. So we love the horns. We have more rhythm and blues in our music. The last couple albums we've had far more New Orleans style, more New Orleans than Chicago, more Memphis than Chicago, and they're all different styles. So Chicago blues has its style. Everybody's familiar with that, but we do the more New Orleans, the more deep South sort of thing, just to have a little bit of a party. That's what we like doing.
That sounds great. So who forms part of the Johnny Mac's band?
Well, the band at the moment, we have a couple versions, and mainly because of time constraints. In the Toronto area, musicians are so busy, and they have to be busy to keep their homes and keep their families and everything else going. So when we go to Europe, I have 3 guys I love traveling with: Mitch Lewis, Jimmy Casson, and Uli Bonet. And we go there. It's easy peasy. We go. Down here, I have a couple versions of the band. Tonight it's John Finley on guitar, Tommy Griffiths on bass, and Jim Casson on drums, and Jeff Day on keys. So there's about 2 or 3 guys for every instrument, because that's the way you have to do it now. And they all know the stuff. We've all been playing together for 20 years, off and on. So
that's amazing. That's amazing. So Roadhouse Soul, your 7th album, recorded at 9, is that correct?
Number 9 Studios, yeah.
Number 9 Studio, so which I understand is one of your favorite.
Yeah.
So tell us about this album. I understand you have a joke going on here with your little Dick Clark.
Well, yeah. So I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and I remember watching Dick Clark on American Bandstand. So my joke is always Dick gives it now 64, because he used to rate singles, as we all know. You wouldn't know. You're far too young.
Oh, thank you.
But in my age, it's so Roadhouse Soul is an album. What we wanted to do with this was write songs and put songs together that you would find in what we think would be a roadhouse setting. So something down south where, say, the Blues Brothers were going, where you would hear a little bit of country, a little bit of rock and roll, a little bit of blues, maybe not jazz, but all sorts of different genres, and all tied in together. And that's what we tried to do. So we have some nice rock and blues. We have some nice southern stuff, some New Orleans piano, and all that going in. It's a melange, as we like to call it.
So Johnny, you're scheduled to perform tonight at the Boogie Woogie, kickstarting the event for the Stonebridge Wasaga Beach Blues Festival. So what can we anticipate?
What you can anticipate is a fun-loving rock and roll, blues, southern explosion experience of music. So very danceable, very fun, a lot of laughs, a little bit of comedy thrown in, because I'm a funny looking guy. So that's how we do it. We try and engage the audience every chance we get, whether it's with music, with solos, with conversation and patter back and forth. And we just try and make sure everybody has a good time, because everybody wants to have a good time.
And on Saturday, September the 15th at 1:40 p.m., you're at the main stage, and you're going to be performing with your band again, playing.
Yep.
And what are you looking forward to?
So on the main stage, we will concentrate more on the last two albums. And what we're trying to do is remind people who we are again. I mean, we played up here. I guest up here a couple times a year with some friends of mine, and it's just, I mean, these are the last couple festivals of the season. It's a fantastic festival, and the people are great. And I mean, in all essence, I know a lot of them from back down in Toronto and Mississauga, but to make new fans and have new people appreciate the music, that's what we're here for.
And apart from the Johnny Max Band, you're a busy guy. I know you were hosting the Sunday Morning Soul. You were explaining to me a little earlier. So tell us a little bit about that show.
So I started the show, it was called Sunday Night Soul, 15 years ago with Chuck Jackson. And we used to do it out of a studio in Richmond Hill. And we did that for 10 years. And Chuck got too busy with Downchild, obviously. I took it on myself. And what we did was we specifically promoted Canadian blues music, new music. We didn't really play any Muddy Waters or any classic blues. We played all new stuff. And I then transferred that to a station in Port Credit and kept that going for another 5 years. Had it syndicated across Canada in 12 stations and in the US. Wow. And just kept promoting Canadian blues because it's fantastic.
Wow, well, that is amazing. So where can we find more information on Johnny Max?
You can find more information on us at johnnymaxband.com. On our Facebook page, Johnny Max, Instagram, Johnny Max Band. We're all over the internet. I don't know how we do it. I get my kids to figure that out for me.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Johnny, for being my guest, and wishing you a wonderful weekend at the Stonebridge Wasaga Beach Blues Festival. Thank you for watching. For more exclusive interviews with your favorite celebrities, check out Beach Corner on Wasaga Beach TV. I leave you with a clip from the Boogie Bash of the Johnny Max Band. Bye-bye, everyone.